We often talk about the abortion drug and how it's a threat to women and unborn babies. And it is. And I'm going to continue to talk about it until it's resolved. And I think we're making some progress, okay? But there's another aspect that doesn't get as much attention, and that is the potential threat that it poses to all of us. Now, some would say, well, you know what? I'm not going to get an abortion. That's going to affect somebody. The abortion pill is affecting all of us. The threat is in the water supply. Therefore, the people who rely on it, that's you and me, are going to be impacted. Now, earlier this summer, we highlighted a newly released research paper that raised a national alarm over the potential harm that abortion drugs are creating for the rest of us when the hazardous medical waste, including human remains, are being flushed into the water system. That's what happens when the abortion drug is used, mifepristone. With the use of the abortion drug rapidly increasing, are we seeing the amount of movement that we need to see to address this issue? Joining me now to discuss this, John Stemberger, president of Liberty Counsel Action and one of the authors of the paper titled Abortion in Our Water, Chemical Home Abortions and the Disposition of Aborted Fetal Remains. John, welcome back to Washington Watch. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you having us on the show.
All right. For those that have not seen the paper or not aware of your research paper, give them a brief overview of what you did and what you found.
Sure. We have developed a 38-page academic paper with 336 footnotes. It's the most exhaustive paper that we know that exists, and it's basically documenting the widespread contamination of our water from 700,000 women who are being instructed by abortion providers to deliver their babies in the toilet, which then goes and is processed or not processed by local city sewer water plants. And the contamination is there from not just the biohazard waste, which Students for Life estimates somewhere between 40 to 60 tons annually of waste is going into our water supply, but also mifepristone, which is not an organic drug. It doesn't dissolve in the body like a Tylenol would. It has a synthetic drug. It has a half-life, so its therapeutic effect continues on after it exits the woman's body and continues on in the water. And query whether or not the amounts of the microdoses of mifepristone that we're bathing in or drinking or what have you in our water supply, which is not being removed at all by normal water treatment plants, are affecting our infertility rate, because people are getting microdoses of this. It could be affecting miscarriages, could be affecting the infertility rate. And actually, there's just a lot of questions we don't even know, Tony, because the EPA is not studying this. The FDA is not studying. The government is spending all this money studying nonsense we've seen in the DOJ reports, but they're not doing anything to study the real problem that could be affecting our vital infertility rate.
So even though this information is out there, there's concern that this is not, as you said, breaking down. It's not getting taken out. It's not taken out by the filtration systems. And we see this increase. In fact, the administration addressing this increase in infertility, wanting to promote IVF. It looks almost as if it's a vicious cycle that we're providing this abortion pill. It's killing babies. It's going into our water system, and it's preventing people from that want to become pregnant from becoming pregnant because it's affecting fertility.
And this is a major problem. We are pleased with the fact that the second MAHA report, Make America Healthy Again report, did include suggestions to the EPA that they could and kind of release them to study pharmaceutical contamination of the water supply. That was very encouraging. Another place in the MAHA report, the second MAHA report dealing with children, also dealt with infertility and talked about the research that needs to be done of what's causing infertility. So these are very big deals. We're going to be following up with the EPA now that they have clearance from the government to do this, and they really need to study this. I mean, it's outrageous. If a hospital was dumping biohazard waste of any type regularly, as a matter of course, into their toilets instead of properly disposing of it as they should, it would be a national scandal. But yet the entire abortion industry is getting away with instructing mothers to just deliver dead babies in the toilet without regard to this. And the problem is, when this was all approved in the year 2000, it was a very small percentage of overall abortion. So they estimated in their very weak environmental analysis, which really wasn't analysis at all, that, oh yeah, it's going to be minimal impact. Well, now we're talking about almost 70% of all abortions are these chemical abortions. So the amount of impact of both the biohazard waste from the unborn babies in the toilets and in the water supply eventually through city water treatment plants, and also the mifepristone is exponentially more. And you've got things even like these most recent generic approval of the drugs. That's going to increase the amount of biohazard waste and the increase of the drug in the water supply.
Final question for you, John Stemberger. So is it treated differently because it's abortion, and that's why we're not seeing more movement on it?
Well, that's exactly right. They're studying microplastics. The EPA can switch and study any chemical in the water. But for some reason, we know that reason, this is just a sacrosanct issue. Whenever you touch abortion, the rules are always different. So proper environmental analysis were not done, oversight's not being done. But even though the president is unfortunately in favor of chemical abortions, we are asking them to, at a very minimum, study this. You can't ignore it. President Trump himself, 5 different speeches, Tony, he said, I want crystal clear drinking water. Well, you can't have crystal clear drinking water if you have contamination from chemical abortions in the water supply.
John, how can people find a copy of, see a copy of your report?
Yeah, so go to abortioninourwater.org, abortioninourwater.org, and there's all kinds of resources. There's videos, interviews, there's memes you can post on social media. There's a one-pager that explains everything in one page. It's with diagrams, or if you really want to dig deep, you can go into the academic research paper that's 38 pages long.
All right, John Stemberger, always great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tony.